Islam Makhachev is going to be moving up to become a double champ as he takes on Jack Della Maddalena. Is GOAT status on the line for Makhachev? Is GOAT status on the line if he beats Topuria? What is Islam Makhachev got to do to become the greatest fighter to ever compete in MMA? And I'll be honest with you, I think if Makhachev moves up and beats Jack Della Maddalena and finishes him, I think we are looking at the GOAT of the sport. Okay? There is one problem. Islam Makhachev has popped. I think it was like 10 years ago now at some stage. He popped for some... I don't even know if it was a performance-enhancing drug because he only got 6 months suspension. This isn't a John Jones Tyranobol multiple times occasion here, okay? A lot of people will say that. I get what you're saying. But pop, like Sean O'Malley popped as well. There are things as, you know, popping for things that maybe... You know, there's things that like energy drinks you can pop for. Which, you know, energy drinks are just not a performance-enhancing drug. There's a reason he got 6 months fucking thing. But if we look at Makhachev's resume, we have Charles Oliveira in his prime, finished, submission. I think that's one of the greatest wins that you can have at lightweight. Apart from Khabib, I think submitting Oliveira is the best win that you can have on your resume. In my opinion, I don't think there's a better method or opponent in his prime that you can beat apart from Oliveira. We have a prime Volkanovski decision win in Australia a few weeks after that. Another incredibly underrated win. Just because it was a close fight, people don't really give him the credit he deserves for that fight. You know, he went over to Australia and won. I don't understand what more... I know he could have finished Volk, but he had so many moments. Dustin Poirier finished submission. Again, people kind of look past that because it was kind of a close fight. But if you go back and rewatch it, there was kind of like close moments more than anything. And Poirier had good moments. I thought Makhachev won that fight quite convincingly. Not convincingly, I should say, but I thought Makhachev was just doing better than Poirier. He was kind of one step ahead, you know what I mean? Then we have absolutely running through Renato Moicano. Great win. I feel like the fact Moicano lost to Beneil Dariush just kind of dismantled a little bit, but no one's finishing Moicano like that. Not in the first grappling exchange of everything. Fair enough, like, Fiziev knocked him out and stuff like that, but I feel like if you're running through him in the first exchange, that is incredible. That is absolutely incredible, okay? And then, you know, he's picked up a win against Arman Tsarukyan. I feel like Makhachev, like the whole thing about Makhachev is, it's like Dan Hooker short notice, Volkanovski short notice, you know, Renato Moicano short notice, which are fair criticisms, but again, it's out of his control and he's dealing with the people that are in front of him. He can't really do any more. So that's why I'm kind of reluctant to be like... He's got the names on his resume fairly as well, you know what I mean? People, you know, Arman Tsarukyan was kind of short notice. It was short notice, actually, there's no kind of about it. But like the Charles Oliveira win, there was nothing short notice about that. The fucking Volkanovski first win, the Poirier win. These aren't short notice opponents. Like, I know Poirier versus Makhachev got announced like 6 weeks, but, you know, Makhachev had 6 weeks to prepare as well. And I feel like if you're racking up names like Arman Tsarukyan, Volkanovski twice, Poirier, Moicano, you know, Charles... And then you go up and you beat Jack Della Maddalena. He's got the most title defenses in lightweight history, okay? Let's not forget that. If you go up there and beat Jack Della Maddalena, I think you're the greatest fighter to ever compete. If you finish Maddalena, let's say you outbox him and then you beat him on the ground and you submit him, we're looking at the best fighter ever. I don't need to see him versus Topuria. Okay, no, I do actually. No, I need to see that in my life. I can't even lie. I take that whole thing back. That sentence I just said, I take back immediately. I made a video kind of shitting on Topuria last night because I feel like he deserved it, that he's kind of ducking Tsarukyan, which is the hardest fight in the division for him. I think we can all agree on that. But if he were to beat Tsarukyan and then go up and beat Makhachev, or Makhachev moves back down and things, let's say something like that. But my kind of gripe with that is, like, that fight's so hype now, but is it going to be hype in a year? Let's say Topuria has a close fight with Arman Tsarukyan, he gets a decision win. Is it going to be as hype? I don't think so. Let's say Makhachev goes up and loses. Is it going to be as hype? I don't think so. That's the problem. We need to book fights now. We need to book these kind of fights now while they're still here. But for Makhachev, I think he's the kind of just one win away from being the GOAT. Like, I really do. And I feel like the drug thing is a bit of an issue with me, of course. But I feel like it's totally different to John Jones, who popped for, like, Tyranobol and got, like, 2 years out of sport. Or TJ, who popped for an EPO. Like, he popped for some... prescriptional drug 10 years ago, you know what I mean? It is so different. It is so different. O'Malley was the same thing. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things, it's who you ask, but you cannot say John Jones is the GOAT and then discredit Makhachev for popping. Like, that's obviously, you just can't do that. But The whole Topuria win, I think, is going to be a big one he needs on his resume if to really concrete GOAT status for a lot of people. I personally would have Makhachev as the GOAT if he beats JDM. The way he does it as well, it does matter. I'm really torn on that fight. I just don't know how I see it going. I can see Makhachev winning, but I don't know if he does. Do you know what I mean? I can see... fuck, man. I don't know. See... I'm kind of worried. The thing that intrigues me about that fight the most is kind of Makhachev moving up and the skill level he's going to bring. That's what intrigues me the most. Like, am I going to see lighter man skills? Am I going to see Makhachev just way too quick for him? Because he is a bit like, I wouldn't call him a weight bully at 155, but he is a very big 55er. Very big 55er. And I don't necessarily think he's going to lose or be outsized. He's going to lose any size. He's obviously not going to lose any size, but I'm not worried sitting here saying, I think Makhachev is going to be outsized against JDM. I don't think that at all. I think JDM is quite a smaller welterweight. He's not that tall. Like, Makhachev's going to have the height on him. JDM's definitely more of a welterweight frame. Like, he's quite, big. He's yoked. Insanely good boxing. I was so impressed with JDM against Belal. Do you know what I mean? Like, I thought Belal was going to run through him. I can't even lie. Like, I thought Belal was a lock. Just the Gilbert Burns fight, I had no confidence in JDM's grappling. Like, I really didn't. 30 more. Like, if that went to the scorecards, JDM had lost. Do you know what I mean? And I just didn't want to bet on that until I saw the improvements made. And especially against a forward pressure wrestler like Belal, I thought this was a nightmare for him. But he proved me wrong. And especially the way he was doing it as well. Belal didn't really shoot as much as I thought, but that's nothing to do with JDM. That's no fault of his own. I feel like JDM's striking and Makhachev striking I feel like Makhachev's definitely got way better grappling control offensively. I feel like JDM's, takedown defense is going to be extremely good. But then again, I feel like you are fighting a different wrestler in Makhachev than a Belal or a Burns or any of these guys, if I'm being honest with you. Like, he's one of the best grapplers I've ever seen. This is the most complete fighter I have ever seen, Makhachev. To do it the way he's doing it, the speed, the boxing, everything. I just think I want Makhachev to be the GOAT of our sport. I honestly do. I really want Makhachev to be the GOAT of our sport. I really like Makhachev. I fucking love when Islam Makhachev is fighting. I love it, man. I love Makhachev. He's one of my favourite fighters ever, if I'm being honest with you. He's carried the sport but he's been a pillar in the sport the last year. Unlike Belal or Khabib up until the end of his career, this dude's finishing people for ages, and his fights are entertaining even when they go the distance. I would have picked him to beat Sarukian. That's quite well known on the channel. I did not think Sarukian was going to win that fight. Makhachev's just better everywhere. Now, this fight, I don't really know. Can Makhachev get JDM down? He will get him down eventually, but JDM's just such good at being able to pop back to his feet. His scrambles are just ridiculous. He never settles for being on bottom. Has he fought someone as good at grappling as Makhachev? No. Has Makhachev fought someone with the same level of boxing as JDM? No, even though he did fight Dustin Poirier and outboxed him in the moments, which people just completely ignore. People just act like he didn't outstrike Poirier in so many exchanges. People act like Poirier was just stuffing all the takedowns, and it was close fight. I don't know what I was going to say there. It was a close fight, but Makhachev was just winning the fight every single time, in my opinion. He was just better than Poirier kind of everywhere. Okay. Makhachev's not really going to go back down to the lightweight, I don't think. I don't really ever see him weighing 155, especially if he wins against JDM. There's so many matchups for him. I just don't think we'll ever see the Poirier match. And I think a JDM on his resume now is enough for Islam Makhachev to be the greatest fighter that we have ever seen. Let me know what you think down below about this. Are we going to see Makhachev? Are we going to see Makhachev versus Poirier? Are we going to see him submit JDM? Is JDM going to pull off the upset? I feel like if JDM wins, it dents the Topuria fight. But then again, I think people need to look at the fact that he's ducking out Sarukian. Like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.